Carolina Panthers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is down now to 6.5. So it has come off of the 7. It has come off the 6.5 at a bunch of places, down to 6. 37.5 to 38 is your total. So, Adam, when we look at this thing, we know what's kind of like going on here. Whenever we're looking at this handicap, it's like, okay, you've got most likely CJ Beathard. It was 2 DNPs in a row for Trevor Lawrence. It is now a new week, a new injury. It was the ankle, then it was a concussion, and now it's a shoulder. Can't imagine they're going to throw him out there in this, which is such an incredibly critical game, and have him playing at what we can only imagine is 60% at best. So I think we're going to get CJ beat hard. And if that's the case, then I went ahead and played the Panthers at 7. I know the 7 isn't available anymore. I think still, even at 6, I would look in that direction. The Jags defense has been ungood over the last half of the season, which I don't know if it like has jumped off the page to a lot of people because there's just been so beat up. But since week 10, the Jags defense is 27th in EPA per play allowed. They are 29th in success rate allowed. They let the guys drop back, 25th in drop back EPA allowed. Like, the defense has just been atrocious. And so with all of that, I went ahead, held my nose, and played the Panthers at 7. I think I would still do the same at 6. What say you?
Let's play this out in a little bit of discussion here, Matt. If the idea is to take the points with the Panthers, what's your game script? Jacksonville 13-10, Jacksonville 16-10, something along those lines. Because to me, if you're going to say that you're on the side of the Panthers, you have to believe it's the Panthers defense against this Jacksonville offense. I know you're talking about the Jacksonville defense being bad, but unless we are to believe the one half of football that Bryce Young played in the second half this last week, I should say, still hard for me to get behind this Panthers offense. So if you're going to play Carolina, to me, I say go all the way and play the money line on Carolina and take this to something where you think it's like a slop fest that Carolina wins 10-7, 10-9, 13-9, something along those lines. You also could play under in that case and probably be a little safer than playing Carolina. But right now, looking at about plus 220 on the money line on Carolina. If you think Jacksonville is down, to me, you think Jacksonville is down hard. And I don't see where they are able to get a whole lot done against a Carolina defense that the advanced numbers don't love as much, but I do think they are on the come right now.
The Panthers defense over that same time frame, 21st EPA allowed, EPA per play allowed, 18th in success rate allowed, 18th in drop back success rate, 16th in rush success rate. So they are a better defense over the same period of time as the Jaguars defense. And I actually played a prop in this one as well. I took DJ Chark over 23.5 rush/receiving yards. This is a pass funnel defense when it comes to the Jags. They defend the run pretty well. They are horrible against the pass. They allowed nearly 260 passing yards per game. And Chark has, over the last 3 weeks, I don't know if they're just trying to see what they have in him, whatever. Maybe it's just like, hey, nothing else has worked, so let's just try and force this. But he's out there basically every single snap. He's running a route on 81% of all dropbacks and coming off an 8-target game in that last game. 23.5 to me seems pretty low in one in which I think the Panthers' only real chance for any success here is to have to throw the ball. So a couple of different plays for me in a game that I would have never have guessed that I was betting, but I took the Panthers and I took an over on DJ Chark. What are you looking at here, Steven?
Matt, just for the record for everybody, we're recording Friday afternoon. We don't have official news that it's not Trevor Lawrence, right?
Correct. We have not gotten their last practice report for Friday yet. Yeah.
And for the record for everybody, I don't care. I'm with these guys on Panthers plus 7. If it's Lawrence trotting out there injured, it doesn't matter to me. I
almost weirdly kind of hope it is. And I know that seems weird, but like, it's an ankle injury, which affects mobility. It's a shoulder injury, which affects throwing. And his brain just got scrambled a week ago. I mean, like, I'm kind of like, I almost would rather have the injured star. Yeah, exactly. I'd almost rather have the injured star than like the healthy backup. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm wouldn't be upset about it, to be honest with you. And this has been a below average offense as well for the Jags, not just the defense. The offense has been below average since Lawrence has been stacking up these injuries. And, I will push back a little bit on Adam on Bryce Young only playing well for a half against Green Bay. Again, very small sample size, but for what it's worth, even the week before when he was playing in that downpour, he wound up as the number 14 quarterback by EPA and CPOE composite for week 15 and a top 10 success rate. So even though they didn't score a lot of points in the conditions, I thought we at least saw some signs of improvement. And last week was confirmation for me that there was further improvement for Bryce Young in this offense. So love the points here. And I'll take it a step further. If the Jags lose this week and the Colts beat the Raiders, which is likely, and the Texans beat the Titans, which is likely, at least by the numbers right now, the Jags can't win the division next week. And the futures right now in the division for the Colts and the Texans are plus 350 and plus 400.
Please don't steal my Houston handicap. Thank you. Thank
Fair
you.
enough.
We're still talking about Jacksonville. Thank you.
We are. I'm just saying that the fading the Jags to not win the division is very live right now. And if you money line those three scenarios, you get 6-1 as opposed to division futures on one of these other two. So it's just a thought.
As a guy who is a slave to numbers, I'm going to fully admit that this is nothing more than like my incredibly subjective eye test thing. But like the last month, I feel like it took way longer than we thought, but I think things are starting to click a little bit better for Bryce Young. Like I agree. This is a subjective, nothing more than eye test stuff, but while it hasn't, as you mean, like, while it hasn't always equaled points necessarily for the team, it does look like there's a little bit more confidence from him. He's throwing the ball down the field a little bit more. He averaged a career high last week as far as like pushing the ball and average depth of target and air yards and stuff. And so, I don't know. It's again, that there's nothing to back that. That's just my eye test type stuff.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. First of all, that's a Joe Barry defense last week that has been playing terribly. We are 2 weeks removed, two of them, 2 weeks removed from a 13 for 36 for 137 yards for Bryce Young. I know I've been the anti-Bryce Young guy on this podcast, but it feels like we're probably overreacting a little bit to a little sign of hope in what's been a miserable season for him.
Sure, but he's playing the Jags defense this week. That's the point for me.
I mean,
that's not the point you made a minute ago. The point you made is that you see some signs of life for Bryce Young, including in a game where they won 9-7.
Let me rephrase. Signs of life of not being the nut low quarterback in the NFL anymore. not an average quarterback, just not the worst.
I mean, look, it's. I mean, if the point is like it was a bad defense he played last week, well, you're getting like literally the third worst defense over the last half of the season that he's getting this week. So
no, I'm right, and I'm not. We're past the point of talking about the handicap on this game. We're to the point of talking about Bryce Young in the aggregate. And look, maybe he ends up being just fine in the long term, but we're searching here a little bit, I believe.
Yeah, important point, Adam. Important point. I do not have optimism long term for Bryce Young now. All of a sudden, I just think that he's just not the worst in the world at the moment.
I would challenge any quarterback in the NFL to step into that offense and try to show me success with absolutely no dudes whatsoever around him and horrible play calling and all the stuff like that. But and anyway, that's for another podcast of us arguing semantics of whether someone is or isn't playing better when we don't have anything to back it up with all that.